Welcome back to another episode of the Diabetes Digital Podcast. Today we have a really special guest. She is a fellow dietitian and one of our friends, Dalina Soto. Dalina is a dietitian, a first-generation Dominican-American who has made it her life's mission to confront diet culture and encourage everyone to incorporate flavor and culture into their diets.
Welcome to the Diabetes Digital Podcast. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Jess, and we're best friends, registered dietitians, and diabetes educators.
Through our telehealth platform, diabetesdigital.co, we offer accessible and personalized virtual nutrition counseling for people with diabetes and prediabetes.
Visit diabetesdigital.co, that's C-O, to book your first appointment. We accept insurance and offer affordable self-pay options. Now, let's get into today's episode.
This podcast is brought to you by Hero Bread. As dietitians, we're always on the hunt for store-bought foods that we can confidently recommend to our patients. But here is the catch. Anything we recommend has to actually taste good. Life is short, and I both live to eat and eat to live. That's when Hero Bread reached out. I'd seen them in stores, but I hadn't picked anything up yet, and they had sent a bunch of products for us to try. Now, my husband and I, we love food, and we were immediately hooked. Hero Bread isn't just tasty, it's functional too. Each serving has 0 to 2 grams of net carbs, no sugar, and 4 to 10 grams of protein depending upon the product. So the Hawaiian rolls, for example, which are new and I love, they have 4 grams of protein per serving. It's perfect for managing blood sugar or adding more protein while eating the bread you love. Their tortillas are a new favorite in my house. My husband and I both love using them to make quesadillas as quick snacks. I'm a big quesadilla girl. I've also been using their bread for sandwiches. I love making a sandwich for lunch because it's easy and it's filling, but I am picky about bread. It has to be the best part. And here's the thing. Sometimes breads with health claims tend to be dry and disappointing, but not this one. Hero Bread is moist, chewy, and really, truly satisfying. Their hamburger buns are also perfect for my vegetarian patties, and the extra protein helps me hit my daily protein goals. Now, whether you're looking to manage your blood sugar or you just want to enjoy a delicious bread option with added protein and prebiotic fiber, Hero Bread is a simple and tasty option. Ready to give it a try? Visit hero.co to shop their full lineup and use our special coupon code DD10, that's DD is in Diabetes Digital 10, to get 10% off at checkout. And don't forget, they also offer free shipping for orders over $50. That's hero, HERO.co. Now, on to the episode. Dalina has a new book that was actually just released yesterday, so make sure to get it. It's called The Latina Anti-Diet. And in the book, she educates us on the health benefits of all her favorite cultural foods, including arroz, habichuelas, and plátanos. Well, I wonder if one of you should read this.
This is where I hop in and I say, you did great.
I'm like, arroz, habichuelas, and plátanos. That sounds so gringo.
You have to leave this in here. This is amazing.
You did great, sweetie.
Which are often left out of the nutrition conversation. We actually had Dalina on the Food Heaven podcast a while back, and we were talking about wellness pyramid schemes, and it's actually a really funny episode. We'll add it in the show notes. And today we're going to have a conversation with Dalina about the ways diet culture has specifically harmed communities of color and why intuitive eating needs cultural nuance and how we can break free from restrictive food narratives while still honoring our health. Welcome to the podcast, Dalina.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
Blop, blop, blop.
Right. Dalina, it's so great to have you again. It's been a minute, so it's nice to catch up. But also, we have loved seeing everything that you've been up to. And I was really excited about your book because I feel like a lot of the books that are out there addressing dieting culture are from a very white lens. So I love that you incorporated your culture into this. And yeah, it's just like a very great episode to have because our listeners are from diverse backgrounds and we get a lot of questions about how can you incorporate your cultural foods while having conditions like prediabetes, diabetes. and you address a lot of the myths, the misconceptions around Latino foods. What are some of the biggest ones that you have seen lately? I know that there's so many, but what are some of the ones that have given you the ick, as the kids are calling it?
Yeah.
The ick. I think I get the ick every day because people are constantly fighting me about white rice versus brown rice. I mean, I just don't know how to not fight people anymore. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
tired.
It's exhausting.
I'm so tired. It's exhausting because I think the funniest part is that, like, if someone else says it, people are eating it up. Like, if somebody writes it in an article and they don't look like us, it's like, yes, queen,
Yeah.
you know? But the minute I say something on TikTok, well, I can't anymore because I deleted the app and I can't get back.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Wow.
It was gone, and then I was like, oops.
So you literally deleted your whole account?
No, the account's not deleted, but the app is, so I can't re-download it. Yeah, I can't re-download the app, though.
Oh, because of the... Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
But I can fight people on Instagram, and I am always fighting people on Instagram.
So tell us about this myth, like, because you said the white rice. I mean, I know, because I feel like we even quoted you on our podcast before about the rice, but tell us, like, for people who haven't seen your page.
Yeah, so I think that, right, everybody, well, for the three of us, we know that we went to school and it was always like whole grains, whole grains, whole grains, and, you know, brown rice is the whole grain. So we were always taught you want to encourage people to eat whole grains. So we should encourage people to substitute white rice with brown rice. But I think that often gets so misinterpreted because, as we know, only 50% of your grains have to be whole grain, right? So if you're eating whole grains from many other sources, there's so many sources of whole grains, what's going to hurt if you keep the white rice? It's not. And you can add so much nutrition. I'm always like, it's a great vehicle to add nutrition because it absorbs so much flavor, and you can add so much protein. You can add so much fiber to it. So if it's going to taste better, why can't we just acknowledge that it's superior, at least in my lens, and that we should be promoting it as a staple, especially because the global South, the majority of the global South eats white rice. So why are we asking millions of people to switch over to brown rice when it's not really not great?
I need to have my husband listen because I'm always buying white rice. And he's always saying, no, get me the wild rice, get me the brown rice, or I want the wild rice or whatever. And I'm like, bro, it's literally the same for the most part. Like, I think it's a difference of, is it 1 gram of fiber extra in the brown or?
It depends. Yeah, it depends, you know, because I'm working with USA Rice, and the differences are very minimal.
Yeah.
Some of them have a little bit bigger of a difference, obviously, because of the grain. But if you think about it, the average is like 1 to 2 grams different. Yeah. But I'm always like, if you're adding beans, if you're adding veggies,
right.
1, you're adding fiber, and 2, you're adding more nutrients.
Yeah.
So why are we fighting?
Yeah. Right.
It's not that serious.
That is the question.
It's not that serious.
So when you say, okay, sorry, I'm just like back to the fighting because I'm like so fascinated by this like TikTok culture. Like, what are people doing? Are they DMing you like you're wrong? Like, what is it?
Let me tell you.
Are they like, you should die because you like
pretty much.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I've gotten very similar things to that. But there was one post that I did, I must have been a few months ago. Or definitely last year, but I reshared it a few months ago. This one lady was like, my dietitian, oh, she didn't say my dietitian. She said, my nutritionist will take you to the mat. I live in Texas and Mexicans are dying. Hispanics are dying. And it's because of their white rice. And she like went off on me.
Oh my God.
Basically telling me that the reason why people are dying is because of white rice. And I was like, not social determinants of health.
Right.
Not access to healthcare. So you're telling me white rice is the issue? And she was just like went off on me. And like people are always going off in those ways, right? Because there's a lot of stereotypes, there's a lot of racism that's involved in a lot of it. And so people just get on this high horse of like, well, why does it matter? I'm like, it doesn't matter. If you want to eat brown rice, please. If your husband wants to eat wild rice, I love that for him. But don't tell me I have to eat it. And don't tell my clients or my patients who absolutely don't like brown rice that they can't, that they have to substitute it.
Right.
Because our meals don't taste the same with brown rice. I don't care how much you try to sell me the idea. But when a locrio is not going to taste the same.
Yeah.
With brown rice.
I mean, it's like, to be honest, again, it's just not that. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I could care less as a dietitian, as your because like you said, there's so many ways to balance out your plate. And I like both. I like white rice and I like brown rice. And it just honestly depends on the dish. Like, I feel like some dishes taste better when they have like a little bit more fiber in it, like depending on the texture that you're going for. And then for some dishes, I'm like, okay, like this definitely tastes better with white rice. I feel like, and this goes for any foods, like once you start becoming so hardcore about what you believe in, it's like, how is this affecting your mental health and your relationship around these foods when you're just like, no, and you have the time to like go on TikTok and
and just yell at people, who's just in their own lane, talking to their own community.
Yeah. It just sounds like a lot, and it's rice, y'all. Like, it's really not that serious.
It's just rice.
And also, let's just be thankful that we have access to white rice, brown rice, whatever it is. And like, I feel like part of it is the demonizing of carbohydrates too, which I'm getting really sick of, especially us, because we work now in the more so diabetes space, impaired fasting glucose space, and it's just all of the information online, not all of it, but a lot of it is very much like no carb, no nothing, no this, no that, like white rice, brown rice, no cauliflower rice.
Nothing. Oh, my God, don't get me started on that.
You're going to be hungry.
And it's like we need carbs, to feel good, to fuel. So anyways, okay. Now, I want your take on this. How do you feel like diet culture and in particular white beauty standards have harmed BIPOC communities, Latinx communities, and what made you kind of realize this as well as the importance of reclaiming our cultural foods?
Oh my God, such a loaded question.
I know. I'm like, oops, that's 3 questions.
I'm like, it took like 3 chapters for me to answer this in my book.
Take the time, all the time you need.
Take the time. No, I think that if we think about, even if we like bring it back to like TikTok or we bring it back to like social media, I feel like a lot of it has now gone to like, we want to be strong. We don't want to be skinny. But then who is being promoted as like these strong, gym rats or like these women, or like what does the algorithm like, right? I think we're talking about in today's times, right? The algorithm loves that. And we've seen a lot of people, say like when I lighten the camera or like when I use filters and change my features, right? Like their stuff is pushed more into the algorithm. And I think that even that just shows you that like we've created a world where like certain looks and certain features get pushed out more. And then the people that don't look like that or don't fit that mold, we get left thinking like, oh, should we change ourselves? Like, should I go into like these extreme diets? Should I like go into these like go to the extreme and do like plastic surgery, change my nose, do this, do that, which we see all the time, right? And I think that that's pretty much what starts it, right? This idea that like we have to look a certain way in order to be accepted by society. And then in turn, we know that people assume that one way to fix our body or control our body is with food, right? So they're going to start changing the way that they eat so that they can look a certain way. And so all of that just snowballs into everything that we see every day. And unfortunately, our foods are loaded with carbs. A lot of them are complex carbs too. Like they're not, just simple carbs. And even if they are simple carbs, we're adding so much to it. We're creating these amazing dishes, but because we can't put it into MyFitnessPal as these like separate meals, people are like, well, I can't have that. Right? Because you don't even know what's in it, or you can't separate it. You can't count macros. You can't do this. So I think out of simplicity,